Here's our new story, Bob. Chapter 1, Livy. I feel bad that I can't remember anything about Gran Nicholas's house. On the table in her kitchen, Gran has lined up 3 things I do not remember. Number 1, a green stuffed elephant in overalls. Number 2, a net bag full of black chess pieces. Number 3, a clunky old tape recorder. You loved these things when you were here before, Gran Nicholas tells me. But I don't remember any of it. Not the horses, Gran Nicholas says, pointing out the window to a dusty yard. Maybe there were horses there once. Not the pigs, Gran Nicholas says, pointing out the back door. If I squint, I can make out some pigs behind a fence, but I don't remember them. Not this, she says, holding up the green stuffed elephant. When you were here before, you wouldn't let go of it. You carried it everywhere. You wouldn't let anyone get near it. But it's like I never laid eyes on that green stuffed elephant in my life. It could have been anyone's green stuffed elephant, and I would not have minded. Mom looks nervous. She wants me to remember, but it's her fault I don't. She brought me here for a month when I was 5 and didn't bring me back until now, when I am practically 11. 10 and a half, almost. Of course, I do remember Gran herself, because we talk on the phone every week and we write each other postcards. Gran tells me the news of Australia, and I tell her the news of Massachusetts. She came to visit us once for 2 weeks, but I don't remember one thing about her house. Actually, maybe I do remember one thing. I think I remember a wrong chicken. I remember chickens, and one chicken that was different. One chicken was not like the other chickens is what I remember, but standing here in the kitchen with everyone looking at me, I don't know how to ask Gran about that. I pick up the elephant. It's soft and floppy. I still don't remember it. Gran Nicholas sighs. She doesn't say what I know she wants to say, which is that we should have come back sooner. On the other hand, Australia is very far away from Massachusetts. If you want to get from our house to Gran Nicholas's house, this is what you have to do. Number 1, drive from Massachusetts to New York City for 4 hours. Number 2, park the car and wait for a bus to the airport. Number 3, take a plane for 7 hours to California. Number 4, get off that plane. Number 5, take another plane for 19 hours to Melbourne, Australia. Number 6, get off that plane. Number 7, wait in 3 different lines while official people look at your bags and your papers. Number 8, wait in the rental car line. Number 9, drive the car for 2 hours in Australia. Number 10, get to Gran's house. Now Mom's going to leave me here again while she goes to visit all her friends from growing up. The baby is too young to stay with Gran Nicholas, so she's going with Mom. I wonder what it's like here at night. I look at the chess pieces. Does Gran have the white ones? I open my mouth to ask, but instead I hear myself say, "Are there chickens?" Yes, she gets excited and Mom looks happy. Gran grabs my hand and runs me out to the yard where some chickens are pecking in the dirt. I look them over, but they all look regular. Are these the same chickens? I ask Gran Nicholas. She says they are different chickens, but the idea of chickens is right. I don't exactly know how to ask the next question. Did you used to have one that was weird? Weird, she asks. Maybe there wasn't a weird one, or maybe they don't say weird in Australia. Never mind, I say. I realize I'm squeezing something in the hand that Gran is not holding. I open it and see one of the black chess pieces, a pawn. Then, coming back into the house with Gran, I see Gran's back stairs. They have carpet on them, and I suddenly know that I have bumped down those stairs. Did I ever bump down those stairs? I asked Gran, pointing. Yes, she says. You loved bumping down those stairs. You had a name for it. A name for the stairs? No, for bumping down them. You called it something. I think she is right. I think I did call it something, but neither of us can remember what it was. Now that I've remembered the chickens and the stairs, Mom looks happier. Like maybe Gran won't think we stayed away too long after all. The baby starts doing some pre-crying in her baby seat. Dad and I invented the word pre-crying, which means the crying that comes right before the really loud crying. Mom isn't fussing with her because she wants me to know that this trip is about me having special time with Gran Nicholas. And not just for Gran to finally see the baby in real life. I heard Mom talking to Dad about it the day we left home. Mom said, I want Olivia to know that this trip is about her having special time with Gran, not just about the baby. And Dad said, I know, hon, you told me yesterday and this morning. Dad didn't come to Australia with us. He's at home building a new room for the baby. He says it'll be ready when we get back. Then I sort of remember another thing. It's something about the second floor, but I'm not sure exactly what about the second floor it is. I'm still squeezing that black pawn. It feels good in my hand. Is there something about the second floor? I asked. Yes, Gran says, the second floor is where your room is and your 4-poster bed. But what I remember about the second floor is not a big bed with a canopy. I still don't know what it is, but it is not that. It's... May I be excused? I asked, already turning toward the stairs. I'll come up with you, Mom says. Your room used to be my room when I was a little girl, remember? I stop, one hand on the railing of the carpeted stairs that I used to bump down. For some reason, I think I'm supposed to go up alone. I glance at Beth Ann, who is still wiggling in her seat. Our eyes meet. As if she knows what I'm thinking, she quits her pre-crying and makes her someone feed me whimper. Mom turns toward her, torn between the two of us. I zoom up the stairs. The doors along the upstairs hallway are open. I peek into what must be Gran's room, where a patchwork quilt is pulled over the bed. I pass the bathroom, where soaps in the shapes of ducks and chicks pretend to march along the counter toward the sink. By the time I reach the last room, my room, I'm almost running. I'm not sure why. Then I see the closet. I still don't remember the bed or the bright pink curtains. But I remember this closet. It's small, the door seems like only half a door, and there can't be much room on the other side. I think I left something inside, something really, really important. My hand reaches for the doorknob. I know exactly where the light cord is, and I watch my hand reach out and pull it. The light flickers on. Here is what I see. Number 1, a high shelf jammed with shoeboxes and falling down stacks of old comic books. Number 2, below that, clothes on hangers dangle from a bar. There's a tutu with sequins and a few summer dresses for someone a lot smaller than me. Maybe Gran is keeping them for Beth Ann in a long, long time. Right now, Beth Ann is so small she can barely keep a shirt on. One shoulder is always falling out of the neck hole. If I try to fix it, she cries. Number 3, on the floor under the little dresses, a Lego pirate ship sits on the brown carpet. It has 4 sails and a mast and a lookout tower and even a swimming pool. It must have taken a long time to build. Next to the pirate ship is a thick old dictionary. And standing on top of the dictionary is a small zombie wearing a chicken suit. He's rubbing his eyes, a Lego pirate clutched in one green hand. When his eyes adjust to the light, he uses them to look me up and down. Then he says, "You're back. Took you long enough." Bob. Her brown hair is longer and her cheeks are less round, but I know it's her, Livy. She told me to wait here and I waited. 5 years is a long time to hang out in a closet, but what else did I have going on? Not much, I'll tell you that. Here are some of the things I did while I awaited her return. Number 1, counted to 987-654-321 6 times. Number 2, built a Lego pirate ship 63 times in the dark. Number 3, played chess against a Lego pirate monkey and still lost most of the time. Number 4, tried to do the hokey pokey like Livy had taught me, but there's not much room to turn oneself around in this narrow closet without hitting the walls. Number 5, cried, but only once. 6, okay, twice, each day, but only for the first year. Number 7, meditated a few times after hearing Gran play a self-help tape on the benefits of calming the mind. This was actually not bad, even though my legs cramped from sitting cross-legged. 8, took a lot of naps, some lasting a few weeks at a time. Number 9, thought of all the reasons that might explain why Livy didn't come back for me. A, she was abducted by aliens, but I am not convinced aliens exist. Zombies, yes. Other monsters, probably, but aliens, not sure. B, her family won the Saturday Lotto and went on the world's longest world tour. If so, she could have stopped here to pick me up. I am small enough to fit in an overhead bin, and I do enjoy a nice salty peanut snack. C, she discovered an ancient mummy in Egypt and got busy giving interviews. But I think I would have heard Gran Nicholas talk about this on the phone. Gran is a loud talker, and I have excellent hearing. D, she got scared, but Livy is the bravest person I've met. E, she just didn't like me anymore. This is the one that led to the crying. But now she stands before me, and she looks so sorry and surprised that it is hard to be mad at her. I still am, but less. You are all grown up, I say, letting the hand holding the Lego pirate swing behind my back. She flips her hair over one shoulder. Almost 11. You are a lot taller, and your face is not as mushy. She reaches out a hand toward me, but then lets it fall back. I'm so sorry. You told me to wait for you in the closet. You said you'd be right back. She tilts her head at me, just like she used to do before she was trying to puzzle something out. Did I really say I'd be right back? I consider this. Well, you did say you'd see me soon. 5 years isn't soon. It isn't even soon-ish. Livy looks at her feet. I can't remember anything, honestly. I do not reply. What can I say? All I did for 5 years was remember, and all she did was forget. I narrow my eyes at her. This is not easy because I don't actually have eyelids. I focus on looking skeptical and nonplussed. I know words like skeptical and nonplussed and a whole lot more because for 26 minutes each afternoon, a shaft of sunlight shines through the doorframe of the closet and I read the dictionary. If I'd known about the light, I'd have gotten further than the T's. She takes in my firm stance and my disapproving expression and my toes tapping on the carpet. I am laying on the guilt trip pretty heavy. Then she rolls her eyes and puts her hands on her hips. I was 5. We hold each other's gazes until I sigh. She's right, of course. How can I blame her? She was this tiny slip of a girl, barely old enough to write her own name and tie her own shoes. I was 10 at the time. For the record, I am still 10. I've always been 10 as far as I know. Still, Livy was the kind of 5-year-old who could get things done. Wasn't it Livy who found me and saved me? Wasn't it Livy who made me the chicken suit and taught me to walk in it? Wasn't it Livy who promised she'd help me find my way home? 5 years is a long time to wait, but if she could do all that when she was little, she must be able to do much more now. Maybe this time she will find my answers. Maybe this time she will get me home. Livy. The zombie must have decided to forgive me because it is smiling at me now. But it is a smile like when you have decided to smile, not the kind of smile that just happens on its own. This is what a smiling zombie looks like. Number 1, short. Number 2, green skin, not grass green, more like inside an avocado green. Number 3, no hair, unless you count one long eyebrow and the patchy fuzz growing on the top of his head. Number 4, pretty skinny. I can see one knobby knee sticking out of the chicken suit where a seam has come undone. Number 5, big melted chocolate brown eyes. Number 6, no eyelids. Number 7, smooth skin, at least the parts I can see. Number 8, a nose. Number 9, white teeth. Number 10, lips turned up at the ends. Like I said, it was a potentially fake smile. Is that a chicken suit? I ask. It doesn't actually make him look anything like a chicken. In fact, don't ask me how I even know it's a chicken suit. He sniffs. Of course, it's the chicken suit, the one you made for me. He reaches behind his neck and yanks the hood up. It's just some orangey cloth with glued on feathers and an oversized red felt chicken comb stuck on top of the hood. It looks like a little kid cut it out with bad scissors and glued it there. I point at him. I made that? He tilts his head and the red felt chicken comb flops to one side. Of course you made it. I didn't even know what a chicken was before I met you. I learned about chicken combs in kindergarten when our class visited a farm. There was a huge rooster there named Queen. How come I remember the name of a rooster I met in kindergarten, but I don't remember this? Why are you wearing a chicken suit? In here. In the closet, I meant, where he seems to live. He sniffs again. I am wearing it so that I will be ready. He hikes up one side of the thing and the other side droops toward the floor. Ready for what? He gives me a long stare and I figure this is another thing I'm supposed to remember. And why is it like half on, half off? It reminds me of this kid in my class last year who always wore his coat with one arm pulled out of the sleeve. If you must know, I started to remove it about a year ago. I thought I might as well change clothes, but I'm afraid my left foot might be detached. There was an unfortunate incident involving the dictionary. You were attacked by a dictionary? I didn't say that. It was more of a tipping over. He glares at the dictionary, then strokes it like it's a pet rabbit or something. Zombie parts detach very easily, you know. If I take the rest of the chicken suit off, the foot may peel right off with it. I eye him carefully. What's your name? I ask. The zombie drops something on the floor. I look down at his feet and see the Lego pirate. The pirate's hat has fallen off and his little arms are stretched out toward it like he's trying to get it back. When I look up, the zombie has that mad look on his face again. You don't remember my name? He asks. Then I realize he isn't mad. His feelings are hurt. This is how a zombie looks when his feelings are hurt. 1. Pretty much the same as before, except the one eyebrow goes up and both sides of the mouth go down. I'm sure I'll remember it, I say quickly, but if you tell me now, I'll know it sooner. I don't think I will, the zombie says. I think I'll let you remember it, since you're so great at remembering things. Olivia! It's Mom calling from downstairs. Lunchtime! That's me, I tell the zombie. I'm Olivia. People call me Livy. He rolls his eyes. I know your name. Then he uses one foot to nudge the Lego pirate toward his ship. He does the same with the pirate's black hat. The small pieces are really easy to lose, he mumbles. Olivia! Mom calls again. Her voice is closer this time. I have to go eat, I say, but I'll be back. I pull the light cord and close the closet door. I've heard that before, he mutters from the other side. Gran has made ham and cheese sandwiches with pickles. Mom must have told her that it's my second favorite dish after tacos. She pours us glasses of milk. Terrain, Grandma says, raising her glass. Mom glances at me and then raises her glass. Terrain, she says. Then they look at me, so I say it too. Beth Ann can't even hold a glass. She just points at Gran's nose. She likes to point at people's noses. It hasn't rained in Gran's town for a long, long time, which is bad. It's called a drought. It's bad for the plants, bad for the animals, and bad for the people who live around here. Mom says the drought is why Gran doesn't have horses anymore. She couldn't feed them because her grass stopped growing. She has to share water with her neighbors, and she only gets a little bit. Mom says she'll show me how to brush my teeth a special way so I don't waste any. Livy, Gran says, when your mom leaves and it's just the two of us, I thought maybe you and I could make a cake. She shows me a fat cookbook called Woman's Weekly Children's Birthday Cookbook. Livy, this is the best cake cookbook on the planet, Mom says. Cake sounds good, but I have a zombie waiting for me upstairs, and I don't really want to think about Mom leaving, and so I say it sounds great. Lunch is pretty quick because Beth Ann gets right down to what Dad calls her job, which is crying. Yes, crying is her job, and she's really good at it. No one even bothers trying to talk when she cries because she's so loud. Gran rubs Beth Ann's back while we put our heads down and eat. When I finish my sandwich, my pickle, and Mom's pickle, I shout over the crying to say I'm going upstairs to read in the canopy bed, and Mom shouts back, "Great idea!" and she says she'll help me find a book. I talk really loudly in the upstairs hall so that the zombie will know I'm not alone. When we walk into my room, the closet door is closed and there's no sign of him. Mom puts her hand on my shoulder and leads me to a bookshelf against the far wall. These were all mine, she says. I tilt my head to read a few titles. Alice in Wonderland, which of course I've heard of, and Snugglepot and Cuddlepie, which I haven't. Mom picks out a book with a strange cover, one half of a smiling girl and one half of a knight wearing black armor, lined up so that they look like the two sides of one person. Half magic, she says. I loved this when I was your age. Just think, Olivia, when you were here before, you couldn't even read. Time goes so quickly. I lie on the bed and pretend to love Mom's book right away, even though it usually takes me a little while to love a book. She gives me a quick hug and goes back downstairs where Beth Ann is still crying. I run to the closet. The zombie is hovering over the pirate ship again, this time with a Lego monkey in his hand. He drops the monkey and puts his hands over his ears. What, he asks, is that horrible noise? Close the door. I tell him it is only the baby doing her middle of the night crying. Is it the middle of the night, he asks. It doesn't feel like the middle of the night, though I admit that a closet is not the best place to decide what time it is. There is a certain timelessness to closets, this one anyway. It's the middle of the night in Massachusetts, I tell him. Grant's house is 14 hours ahead of Massachusetts time. Well, he says, I guess your baby must be very good at math, but I wish you could make her stop. It's annoying, but it's her job, I tell him, and she's not my baby. Although I did name her, Mom and Dad let me because they read a book that said it might help with my adjustment to being a big sister. I have no idea why I named her Beth Ann. They probably should have named her themselves. Downstairs, the phone starts ringing. Grand Nicholas has a really loud phone because her hearing isn't so great. You can hear her phone ringing even when Beth Ann is crying. When I talk to Grand Nicholas on the phone at home, Mom always stands right behind me and tells me to speak up. And Gran always says, "Tell your mother I can hear you just fine. I've got my ears on." That's what she calls her hearing aids, her ears. I guess the phone was for Mom because now she's yelling into it and laughing. My mom hasn't seen her friends in 5 years, I tell the zombie. He looks up. Me neither. Do you have friends, I ask him? Friends like you? That, he says, is what we were trying to find out, remember? I'm tired of saying everything I don't remember. Instead, I point to his foot, the one inside the chicken soup. Can you wiggle it? I think so. I see the bottom of the chicken soup move and one feather flutters off. He sneezes. Take the suit off, I say. I bet your foot's totally fine. No, he says quickly. I'm not in the mood. You're scared. I'm not scared. I just don't feel like it. What kind of zombie gets scared about taking off a chicken suit? I thought zombies were strong and powerful. Are they? He looks up at me. You really never met another zombie? He shakes his head. But what about your parents? He is quiet now, concentrating on attaching the little plastic monkey to the pirate ship's mainsail. 2 hands, he tells the monkey. We don't want you to fall off and get lost like poor Mr. Parrot. This zombie has definitely spent too much time alone. You don't have parents, I ask? He rolls his eyes. We've been over this, he says. No parents that I know of. No idea who I am. No idea why I was mixed up with your grand's chickens. No idea where I came from or how to get back. Then how do you know you're a zombie in the first place? The same way I know a lot of things. You told me. Me? You mean before? When I was 5? I didn't know anything. I blink a few times and take a long look at him. Why did I even think he was a zombie when I opened the closet door this morning? He's green and his clothes are kind of ratty, but does that make him a zombie? I'm pretty sure 5-year-old me confused both of us. Listen, I say, what if you're not a zombie? I am a zombie. I know I am. That's why I don't need to eat or sleep much, and that's why I'm so careful about my parts falling off. But have any parts fallen off, ever? He glances at the foot inside the chicken suit. I'm not sure. Hold out your hand. He holds out one hand. Look, I say, 5 fingers. He wiggles them. But how do you know how many I started with? Maybe I had 6. Maybe I had 8. I shake my head. Take that foot out of the chicken suit. I bet you $100 it's still attached. He hugs the ratty-looking orange cloth to his body. No. This kind of reminds me of the time Susanna Hopewell kicked me in the face with her soccer cleats. Not on purpose. We were both going after the ball. I tripped and rolled, and the bottom of her shoe scraped the whole side of my face. I covered my cheek with both hands and wouldn't let anyone look. I was too afraid of what they might see. Finally, Dad blocked the door to the fieldhouse bathroom so that I could look in the mirror by myself. There was a big gash next to my ear, but it wasn't as bad as what I had been imagining. I got 14 stitches, and Mom bought me a bag of candy corn almost as big as my backpack. Do you want to look at it by yourself? I ask him. He grunts and says, if I wanted to look at it by myself, don't you think I would have done it by now? I have an idea. I point at the huge dictionary. Let's look up zombie and see if you match the definition. He looks worried. But what if I'm not a zombie? What happens then? If you're not a zombie, then your foot is still connected to your body. That would be good news, right? He thinks and then nods. He puts 2 hands on the dictionary and pushes it along the floor, out of the closet to where I'm standing. I sit on the rug, open the dictionary to A, and then wish I'd started at the back. I have to move the pages in big clumps with both hands. The probably not really a zombie waits patiently. I get to Z and trail my finger down the pages like I've seen Dad do. I move past zest, spirited enjoyment, gusto, past zodiac, a celestial path, and land on zombie. We lean in together to read the definition.